Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank where I climb the online Series 1 VGC ladder in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and provide live commentary as I go. In this video, we're kicking off the brand new rank season with the team that finished in rank number 1 at the end of the previous rank season. This team is absolutely incredible and has some very interesting sets like Struggle Bug, Rocky Helmet Volcarona, Baxcalibur, as well as Dondozo plus Tatsugiri, and it was actually built by 2019 World Champion Naoto Mizobuchi, who also was able to finish rank number 1 with this exact team. Getting to rank number 1 at the end of the rank season is super difficult because so many players are vying for it, and yeah, I think this team is just so consistent, so strong, and has some really interesting meta developments that make total sense to me. And yeah, it's just really smart team building from naturally one of the best players of all time in Naoto. So as always, I'll do a quick breakdown of the team, but if you want to just skip to the battles, check out the timestamps down in the description below. And thank you so much as always for watching. If you enjoyed, really appreciate it if you consider leaving a like on the video or subscribing to the channel. Really helps me out a ton. Anyway, let's dive into things. First of all, if you don't know who Naoto is, you absolutely must. He is one of the greatest players to ever touch VGC, World Champion in 2019, but also top 4 in the world in 2015, top 8 in the world in this most recent World Championships, and 10th in the world back in 2010, which is absolutely crazy, right? To play at a high level for over a decade and play so well at so many different World Championships is truly unbelievable. And so I've linked his Twitter down in the description below, and here's the post that you can see where he was able to finish rank number 1. And yeah, once again, like there's so many players trying to climb to rank number 1 at the end of the season, so to actually be the one person that finishes there is so impressive, and I'm not surprised it's Naoto, especially because I think this team is really interesting as well. So let's dive actually into the team specifics. So the first thing I actually want to point out with this team is you'll notice that the EV spreads are not very complicated. They're almost essentially all max in all of the different Pokemon. You know, it's like 244 and 444, but otherwise it's, as you can see, like the EV spreads are actually not very complicated. I think when people think about team building, it's very easy to get super overwhelmed with EV spreads and be like, oh, how do I figure out the absolute most optimal EV spreads? But Naoto's team here just has basically, maxing 2 different stats and like, maybe 4 points of investment in 1 or 2 of the different stats. And so I always like to highlight this, right? Because I think like when people think about team building, EV spreads, of course, are really important, but you don't always need the most complicated EV spreads to perform well at a super high level. And so that's just one thing I wanted to quickly point out. Let's actually talk about all the individual Pokemon. The first thing that I'll call out is that like when you think about Dondozo Tatsugiri, this is just one of the most oppressive combinations in the format. And so I think that it's funny, when this combo first came out, I was like, oh, there's definitely good counterplay to it. And that's not to say there isn't good counterplay, but I think Dondozo Tatsugiri under the hands of a remarkable player can be really hard to beat because they're able to see exactly when to bring it, when not to bring it, and even when to bring the individual pieces rather than combining them. And so, yeah, I mean, this combo is just, it truly is really strong. And I expect a lot of high level players to utilize it for events throughout Scarlet and Violet. And so basically this Dondozo and Giri, the main thing to call out is that it's the stretchy form. And so when you use Order Up with Dondozo, you actually get speed boosts. The idea is to actually turn Dondozo into a Pokemon that can snowball really quickly and outspeed everything ideally, especially after a single Order Up. And given that there's a fair amount of Tailwind in the format as well, you can slowly use Order Up to like outpace your opponent as well. And so I think when you look at Dondozo, some players opt for like a lot of bulk, for example. This is just a super offensive set, right? You've got Dragon Terra with Order Up really to maximize your damage output. Dragon Terra is also nice defensively to not take as much damage from electric type attacks or grass type attacks, for example. And you've got Substitute here. The main idea of Substitute is to bypass things like Clear Smog from Amoonguss, status conditions in general, and also just be able to wall opponents in certain positions as well. So the Tatsugiri is the Choice Scarf variant here. There are different ways you can run this. I've seen like Citrus Berry, for example, as well, but I think when people think about Dondozo Tatsugiri, people don't like play into Tatsugiri enough. This Pokemon is actually really solid, right? Base 120 special attack. Don't like discount Choice Scarf Icy Wind because you can actually use that really nicely with some of the other Pokemon on this team. For example, Tatsugiri Golden Gold lead Icy Wind to make it rain immediately. I think people often see Tatsugiri just as a component to Dondozo and they don't respect it enough as a standalone Pokemon, and I think that's really critical. This thing can actually be super solid, and with Dondozo being near max attack here, like this can do pretty solid damage even if you have not actually combined with Tatsugiri. So once again, when you use this combo, think about how you can use the individual pieces and positions rather than just combining it all the time. To round out the team, you've got Meowscarada. This is the classic Focus Sash variant. The one really cool thing I'll call out here is that it's actually running Toxic Spikes. And you're probably wondering, Toxic Spikes, like entry hazards in VGC, why in the world would you use this? This is mainly to help you against like opposing Dondozos, right? So if you're able to set up a layer of spikes or even two, it can make opposing Dondozos really struggle. And so yeah, it's basically a unique move designed to really help you in the Dondozo mirror, which is really cool. That's one thing I love about VGC team building. Like this move just doesn't look very helpful for any other matchup, right? But Dondozo is so common. You're gonna run into so many of Dondozo teams that having this one move can turn it from, you know, either a neutral or even slightly negative matchup into a very positive matchup for you. Otherwise, pretty standard set here, and it is just Jolly Max Speed. Golden Go here is the Choice Specs variant, so pretty standard moves here. It's just classic Steel Terra to maximize your damage output with Make It Rain. The one cool thing to call out here is the trick on Golden Go, especially in best of one without you know, open team sheets. You can catch your opponents off guard with this and go for trick onto either physical attackers, for example, or onto Pokemon that really value having their item. And so yeah, kind of a cool surprise. And Power Gem just gives you unique coverage, and I feel like often I even forget about Power Gem for my opponents, and so this can be a really powerful move, no pun intended. Finally, to round out things, you've got Volcarona with Rocky Helmet. Now, this is a really nice set, especially with Flame Body, and it's an absolute nightmare for physical attackers to go up into. For example, you can use this Volcarona to make the Mousehold's population bomb just feel really miserable. Like each population bomb, it has to, you know, take Rocky Helmet damage, and then you also activate potentially for Flame Body as well. And so it's really, really nice into Mousehold, but also just valuable into a lot of the physical attackers. Like Rocky Helmet, Flame Body is just a really cool combination in general. And like Volcarona has such good base special attack that Overheat, even without any special attack investments, still does a ton. This is especially good into opposing Golden Goes, right? Golden Go is just one of the most common Pokemon in the format, and so having an Overheat to potentially nuke that is absolutely huge. Struggle Bug is a nice move just for kind of disruption. Being able to decrease your opponent's special attack is really nice, and I've just found that Volcarona provides incredible utility, especially when paired with Golden Go and Baxcalibur. For example, Volk Golden Go, Volk Baxcalibur are two of my favorite leads with this team. And so yeah, I think Volk is honestly kind of underplayed, and I love this set. I think like you can actually deal damage with Overheat, but it's also just so supportive in helping you, yeah, like deal with opposing physical attackers, which I think is awesome. The last Pokemon here is Baxcalibur, and I've been really impressed by this Pokemon. Basically, with Dragon Fang, you do so much damage with Glaive Rush into almost everything in the format. I mean, first of all, this thing's base stats are just incredible, right? I think one of the downsides of Baxcalibur is that Dragon Ice is kind of an awkward typing, especially being weak to opposing Dragon, for example. But that's where the Steel Terra really comes in handy. It covers for the Dragon weakness, the Fairy weakness, and the Steel weakness, right? So it covers for most of your defensive downfalls. And so this allows Baxcalibur to hang on for a little bit longer, and you just do so much damage with all of these attacks, honestly. Like a Dragon Fang Glaive Rush can one-shot a lot of Pokemon in this format. So no need really for speed investment here as you're looking to just pick up big knockouts and also survive attacks, and yeah, almost max HP investment here. The other thing is that, like, for example, if you think about what beats Dondozo Tatsugiri, Murkrow is kind of a nightmare, and so with Baxcalibur, you have a way to just, you know, potentially one-shot it with Ice Go Crash, depending on its bulk and its item choice, but Ice Go Crash into Ice Shard, you know, will certainly knock out Murkrow, and if you're able to eliminate the Murkrows, that opens the door for Dondozo and Tatsugiri. So yeah, I think there's so much flexibility in how you can play with this team, but, you know, some leads that I've gone with are Volcarona plus really one of any of these three Pokemon. Meowscarada is always naturally a decently strong lead, especially if you see Dondozo on your opponent's team. You might want to consider leading this and just putting up Toxic Spikes immediately. Like I think Meowscarada Golden Go, Meowscarada Baxcalibur offer a ton of damage, and at the end of the day, it's often about enabling Dondozo and Tatsugiri, right? But like I said, you don't always have to have both of these in the back. I think once again, to be a smart Dondozo Tatsugiri player is to identify when you can bring one of the two Pokemon rather than bringing both of them. And I want, you know, to highlight just how good Choice Scarf Tatsugiri with Icy Wind support can be for a team like this. Also, just don't discount the amount of damage that you do with Draco Meteor. It's really solid as well. So spent a little bit more time talking about it, but I think it's an incredibly well-crafted team that utilizes a lot of common meta Pokemon, but also has some nice surprises in Volcarona and Baxcalibur, and some unique sets with the Toxic Spikes, the stretchy form, as well as the Trick here. So let's quickly talk about some weaknesses. So I think when talking about weaknesses, we can actually start with just Dondozo plus Tatsugiri. The thing is, you have to be really careful, right? It's like easy to say, oh, just use Haze, or oh, just use Clear Smog, but smart Dondozo Tatsugiri players know that, and they won't let you just get that off. That being said, I think, for example, with this combo in particular, it's Dragon Terra Dondozo, and so you can actually use like opposing Dragon Pokemon with a good defensive Terra potentially to deal with this. I think there are also some interesting applications, for example, like Fairy Gastrodon Terra actually completely walls this Dondozo because it's only Wave Crash and Order Up, and so that's one thing that can be really scary, right? Finding Terras that can just like take the combination of both water and dragon can be really unique. And with Dragon Terra, like Hydreigon is actually a really interesting Pokemon against Dondozo because you can just keep launching Draco Meteors into this. But obviously, you know, Hydreigon does have to worry about just getting KO'd by Order Up in return. So Hydreigon with maybe a good defensive Terra is interesting as well. You know, a lot of natural answers into Dondozo-Giri include Haze, include Clear Smog, include decreasing Dondozo's attack, whether it be through Intimidate or Will-O-Wisp, for example, setting up Reflect as well. But this thing is really hard to beat, honestly, like especially when a really smart player is using it. So you have to be very careful. I think I've also seen some unique solutions, whether it be like Fake Out Cycling, Perish Song, I think is really interesting in dealing with this as well. And so, yeah, the thing with Dondozo-Giri is like those are some generic answers, but you have to kind of tailor it towards how you're playing. And it's funny because this team has Toxic Spikes, but you can also use your own Toxic Spikes potentially to disrupt the Dondozo a little bit more. So that's one thing to talk about. The other thing I'll highlight is that, like, I feel like a lot of the damage is often coming from, for example, like the Specs Golden Go, but Golden Go is one of those Pokemon where, you know, you generally know what it's going to do, you know, either make it rain or often Shadow Ball. But the thing is, like, Wide Guard, for example, can really shut this down for a turn, and even just the threat of Wide Guard makes it a lot harder to use Golden Go, and so that's one thing to watch out for. Golden Go does have to worry about getting one shot by super effective attacks since we don't actually have any bulk on the set here, so that's another thing to pay attention to. I think Volcarona can be a little passive with this team, and so you have to be a little bit careful about how you position with it. I've had situations where kind of just have it out on the field, and then like my partner maybe just takes too much damage and then goes down from there, and then Volcarona is just kind of sticking there, but it's already like committed an overkey. I don't really want to switch out, and the positioning is really awkward. With Meowscarada and Baxcalibur here, I think like you actually with the Focus Sash and Steel Terra have like good defensive capabilities, but with Meowscarada I'm always worried about something like U-turn, especially from Annihilate. Just, you know, U-turn out, bring me down a Sash, I don't really get very much value. But yeah, like I think U-turn and like actually just priority attacks can also be kind of annoying because then you can just finish off Focus Sash. I've had games where like the Sash just gets broken and then Meowscarada essentially just gets one shot after the turn, which doesn't feel super good. And then for Baxcalibur here, I think naturally fighting type attacks and fighting type Pokemon are pretty scary because it's the Steel Terra, so Steel Terra doesn't prevent the fighting weakness, and so that's something to watch out for. So yeah, those are just a couple of things that I've run into. I think mispositioning Dondozo is also really big, where if I switch in and Dondozo just takes way too much damage or faints, it's a complete nightmare for the team. And so putting your opponent in tough spots where they can't just freely activate Dondozo and Tatsugiri is also really critical if you're going up against it. So let's get started with the battles. Okay, I think this is the team that won like one of the first online grassroots events. So Ceruledge, Golden Go, Murkrow, Hydreigon, Dragonite, and Gengar. Actually, did that team, was it this exact team? It feels very similar. I think it was, but yeah. So, given that they have Murkrow, we have to be pretty careful about Dondozo plus Tatsugiri. Meowscarada I don't think is actually that valuable for us here. Rocky Helmet Volcarona is interesting. I think the Baxcalibur here is actually amazing in terms of damage output. And we can probably like Terra this as well. So I'm actually thinking something like Volcarona Bax. It's interesting. I kind of still want Dondozo Tatsugiri in the back. If we can eliminate Murkrow, then this kind of just wins for us, I think. But yeah, like I think there's value. I mean, Tatsugiri with Choice Scarf is actually just really good in general here, I'd argue. I think there's a world in which I don't bring Dondozo and instead bring like one of Meowscarada or Golden Go. Or Steel Terra on Golden Go as well. I'm gonna bring Dondozo. I think this is a matchup where we can get away with it. We'll just have to be pretty careful. Like, I think regular Tatsugiri is actually really good thanks to Choice Scarf here. So that's like one thing we'll look to potentially utilize. But Baxcalibur here feels really powerful, especially with its Terra. I'm gonna go with Murkrow and Ceruledge. Okay, that works for me. Murkrow plus Ceruledge. What do I want to do against this? I mean, they could like Tailwind plus Bulk Up on turn 1. But I think I just want to prioritize knocking out Murkrow, because if that's eliminated, then we can just go with Dondozo Tatsugiri. What do I expect here? This is also Grass Terra, by the way. But we can Terra Dondozo to get around that. Like, I'm kind of down on just hyper focusing on knocking out Murkrow here. Overheat plus Ice Cold Crash. Yeah. Okay, they just Tailwind. That's fine. And bulk up, yeah. I mean, I think Scarlet is going to be pretty annoying to deal with here, but I think if we just eliminate Murkrow immediately, Dondozo's looking really nice. So, Overheat connects. Great. Oh, that actually one-shot with the crit. Okay. Well, it's a pleasant surprise. I just wanted to make sure we knocked out Murkrow this turn, but now I feel like, I could have gone for Glaive Rush, but just wanted to guarantee the knockout there. The Scarlet is definitely going to be a little bit annoying to deal with. I believe it was it Clear Amulet? Either way, though, I think getting a knockout that early is nice to enable late game Dondozo. I think the question is where we go from there. I think we should probably Terra Dondozo, because otherwise the Grass Terra from their end is, well, do I really care about Grass Terra? Especially with Unaware? Because, like, right now I could just Terra this. For example, Overheat into Golden Go, Terra into Steel. I think I'm also okay going for Overheat and Protect this turn, honestly. I want them to KO Volcarona and then give me a free switch in into Dondozo. So Baxcalibur protects. No Terra from their end yet. Bitter Blade. Cool. Is it Power Gem maybe going into Volcarona here? No, they just make it rain. Oh, that's pretty big. Like, Volcarona, one of the reasons why it's used on this team is, specifically because it's super good into Golden Go. So it doesn't really do too much to us, and they're at -1 now. Overheat does miss, though, unfortunately. Okay, it's a little bit annoying, but it's fine. I'll go for Rage Powder here, let the Ceruledge KO Volcarona, and then switch out into Tatsugiri. Actually, I'm fine switching out into Dondozo right now, I think. That is such an unfortunate miss, but it's okay. I did get a crit on turn 1, but I would have preferred to not get the crit because, I'd rather hit Overheat than get the crit because the damage on Ceruledge doesn't really mean much, I think. Okay, I'm gonna go for Rage Powder here. There's Bitter Blade. Oh, Volcarona actually survives that, which is really nice. Cool. So, go heal back, eat up Rocky Helmet damage. And another Make It Rain. Cool, that works. Is that a crit on me as well? Oh my gosh. Oh, this game is so much harder than it needs to be right now. But it's fine. It's fine. Okay. You're at -2 right now with Golden Go. I get to bring out Tatsugiri. We combine. Got Unaware. I know you're Grass Terra with Ceruledge. And I know I'm not really that worried about the Golden Go right now. Man, eating up that crit really stings though, because I just took so much more damage than I really needed to. I think I'm just gonna Terra here and then go for Order Up onto Ceruledge. I'd expect Golden Go to maybe switch out here, yeah. I guess I could have read into that and just try to KO, like, Order Up into that slot. Because it is, yeah, Hydreigon coming in. Okay. Yep, there's Terra. It's Grass Terra, I believe. It's really good that they commit their Terra there, by the way, because it means I can pretty safely just Order Up into the Hydreigon slot. So I think we can snowball this one Dondozo, even despite the Overheat miss and the critical hit. Things have not really gone our way so far, but I still don't feel that bad about this positioning. That's why I wanted to hyper-focus on knocking out Murkrow immediately, right? Because if Murkrow is eliminated, it just paves the path for Dondozo in this endgame. Yep, Terra Blast, great. Okay, so that's not really going to do too much to us now that we're Dragon. Yeah, that essentially actually does nothing to us. And Dondozo now is going to be able to snowball really quickly with Order Up. Almost KO Ceruledge there. That's fine. I don't think we need to, get the actual KO there. Especially with Leftovers recovery now. Beautiful. Tailwind peters out, which is excellent. I'm just gonna go for order up now onto the Hydreigon slot because like we don't want to deal with Draco Meteors from this. And at this point, Ceruledge isn't really that scary specifically because we have Dragon Terra. But you know, Dondozo, Dragon Terra, Flying Terra, Steel Terra, all of those are nice to get around super effective grass type attacks. Okay, beautiful. Hydreigon doesn't protect, and by them committing their Terra with Ceruledge, now we can just order up into the Hydreigon slot for a one-shot, and yeah, this is just how strong Dondozo can be if you position it correctly. Okay. They're just gonna Terra Blast. Yeah. I mean, Terra Blast obviously isn't really doing too much right now into us. I've got Baxcalibur in the back as well as Choice Scarf Tatsugiri. I don't know if Wave Crash actually knocks them out on Golden Go. Let me just double check the field state. +4 speed, +2 on everything else. Yeah, what am I worried about? Like Thunderbolt, I guess? I don't know. I'm Dragon at this point, so I don't think I need to actually worry about that. Post Tatsugiri, our best attack is Muddy Water. Make It Rain is kind of scary because I can't Terra with this. Think I'm just gonna go for a Protect here. Get some Leftovers recovery, see what they opt for. Terra Blast again, that's fine. And Make It Rain. Okay, cool. Given that, I think we can just order up into Ceruledge first. Well, I mean, if Ceruledge is just clicking Terra Blast, like, it's not really that scary. Yeah, I'd actually think it's better to Wave Crash Golden Go, because I can just Ice Shard Ceruledge with Baxcalibur in the back. And then we can just Dragon Pulse things. That actually is just a one-shot on a Golden Go. Okay, nice. Yeah, this Pokemon is just so strong. Cool. And Terra Blast again. So you can see how a defensive Terra on Dondozo basically makes it so much harder for our opponents, right? If you were just pure water, like, you would actually do decent damage with the Terra Blasts, but since we're not, we don't have to really worry much. Beautiful. And now we can just order up again. So yeah, like, even though we had a fairly rough start with the Overheat Miss onto the Golden Go as well as the critical hit onto Dondozo just when positioned correctly can absolutely sweep through teams, right? In the order up here, you know, giving the speed increases allows us to snowball quickly as well, which is really nice. So yeah, overall, I think when you see Murkrow in team preview, of course you have to be scared, right? But because we have Baxcalibur on this team, it's pretty nice as a way to just KO Murkrow immediately. Now, one of the possibilities for them is to lead, like, have Murkrow in the back, right? But the thing is, I think, like, with this team, even regular Dondozo and Tatsugiri are fairly strong, especially because Choice Scarf Tatsugiri I felt like was really good into a lot of my opponent's Pokemon. So even if they had Murkrow in the back, I felt like we could have still been able to potentially win the game, but I would have been a little bit smarter about how I, like, positioned Dondozo and Tatsugiri and make sure, like, I don't combine them immediately. So yeah. Whoa. Okay, that's Low Kicks, Garchomp, Gastrodon, Flamigo, Scyther, and Oricorio. Oricorio, like, I actually don't have that much experience fighting against. I know obviously you can just copy stat boosts. Oh, this is scary, and it's just mainly like the element of surprise. Not really fully knowing what to expect from their end. Very interesting. Very interesting. I mean, Dondozo Giri here is really solid because of Unaware, I think. I don't know what their Dondozo Giri answer is. I'm sure they have something. What a cool team, though. I love it. What is, like, gonna boost up here? Like, I kind of want to go with Baxcalibur as the lead. Ice is just really good into their team in general, I think. Specs Golden Go, maybe? Okay, I'm down for Golden Go, Dondozo Giri. You could make a pretty good argument for all of the Pokemon here. I don't know. The reason I like Dondozo Tatsugiri is mainly because of Dondozo's Unaware, so I can kind of ignore any stat boosts that they copy from with like Quiver Dance. But I, one, have not really fought against Oricorio very much in general, and I certainly have not fought against like low kicks in a lot of my opponent's team. Scyther and low kicks, huh? I mean, I feel like I'm in okay shape here. I probably want to Terra this, right? Just into pure steel. You're bug and dark. I just don't know what to expect. Terra, pure steel, make it rain. I mean, I'd rather try to eliminate low kicks just because I, once again, like, don't really know what it does. So I'm like, Glaive Rush, Terra Steel, make it rain. But with this lead, I'm kind of lost, honestly. My guess is as good as yours. It's really cool to see, though. Okay. So here's the Steel Terra. Against teams like this, I'm always down to lose because I honestly have no idea what is going to happen. Here's a Terra from their end, okay? Low kicks, maybe? What are you going to do with this Pokemon? Is that the Bug Terra? I literally have never seen that Terra before. Huh. Helping Hand. That's really cool. Fortunately, we have enough bulk with Golden Gold to actually survive that, but, wow. Is it sashed as well? Wow. Oh, it's not sashed. It literally just survived on like 1 HP. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, well, I mean, I'll take it. I think that turn could have been a lot worse if the Golden Gold just fainted there, but Helping Hand first impression. Very interesting. That was so much damage. I'm wondering if it's choice banded. Flamigo comes out. Okay. Well, I've got Ice Shard. And I'm also like considering just switching to Dondozo immediately. What am I worried about? Potentially Gastrodon in the back, I would say. Ice Shard. And just make it rain here. They do a feint. Okay. I mean, I might just be eating up a feint plus a close combat here, which doesn't feel great. I could have switched out Golden Go. If Gastrodon is their last one, do I actually win? I mean, plus 2 order up should still do decent damage into it, right? And now they're at -1 defenses with Flamigo. Okay. Very fast-paced game so far. It probably would have been better for me if I had Volk plus Meowscarada. Yeah, it is Gastrodon in the back. Volk plus Meowscarada. No, Meowscarada wouldn't really be able to be that good into Flamigo. I think this is still fine. It's mainly just not exactly knowing where they're going to go from here. I mean, if they have a good Terra on Gastrodon, like, that actually could just completely counter me. Like, Fairy Terra, for example, would actually wall me completely. So, yeah. I maybe should have conserved... Yeah, like, maybe brought, like, Meowscarada and Dondozo. That would have been interesting. I'm gonna protect this turn, see what they try to go for. I expect a Terra from Gastrodon, though, honestly. Oh, no Terra, though. Okay. Well, we'll see how much we can do with order up. They just close combat. Okay. That's fine. Clear Smog. Yeah, that's a problem. I have sub. The question is whether or not close combat breaks through sub. I should have anticipated Clear Smog. I just had no idea what to expect from Scyther and low kicks, honestly, which is really cool. Volk would have been a better pick. Meowscarada would have been decent here as well. If I had Volk Meowscarada, though, like, they could just Brave Bird KO me. How do I get out of this? I'm going for sub, but I think close combat might... Oh! They're faster. Wait, that's a really big deal. Okay, nice. Also, is the move time just going to be stuck on the field for the remainder of the game? Oh, the fact that they're faster is actually really nice for us here. That changes everything. Please tell me we don't... Okay, I guess we might just have to play with the move time stuck on the screen. Okay, I'm going to protect here for leftovers recovery. Wow, interesting. Now it's 60 seconds and stuck on the screen. Okay. I think close combat did under 50%. I mean, the question is whether or not I should sub again this turn. Because they're going to keep decreasing their defenses, and so an order up at some point will just KO. They did get a little bit of damage from Clear Smog. Single order up should KO you now and give us a speed increase. I'm going to click sub again this turn, I think. Yeah, so there's close combat. Yep, it breaks this sub. Okay. It might honestly just be a damage roll as to whether or not they're able to break through sub. But yeah, I should have positioned this better. I think the main thing is just not really fully knowing what to expect from my opponent's team. And this is where by having speed order up rather than attack order up, we're kind of in an awkward position. I think I just got to go for the order up here. And yeah, if they don't break through the sub, essentially we win, but... Oh, or struggle. Wait, I totally didn't even think about that as a win condition. No way. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. Sweet. I wish we could play this game without the move timer on the screen, but that's one way to potentially win. Cool, and the thing is now Gastron can't break through me, right? Okay, they just go for Earth Power. Yeah, that makes sense. Is that... I mean, that's not going to break through the sub. Oh, it does. Wow, okay. So Earth Power... They haven't... No, sorry. I was talking about Terra this whole time. They Terra'd low kicks in the beginning of the game. It's just such an obscure Pokemon. I don't know what to expect from it. But yeah, now we just go Protect into Substitute into Order Up. And we should win. It might take a little bit, but yeah. And they just go for Earth Power. Yep, makes sense. Earth Power, Clear Smog, Protect, I would assume. Wonder if they, like, recovers the last move. Anyway, yeah. I actually should have been counting Close Combat PP. Given that, the best approach was actually to stall out all of the PP. I didn't even think about that as a win con, but that would have been the best approach for sure. But are they scarfed? Because they outsped us, right? I think so. All right, anyway, now we sub. All we have to do is make sure we don't get hit by Clear Smog. I could actually lose this if Clear Smog hits us at any point, because then Recover heals back too much. I'm also still worried about them actually winning through... if they have Recover and like Order Up just doesn't actually do enough to them. I could lose to PP as well here, right? How much PP do we have with Order Up? 15? Okay, let's see how much we do here. It's finally time to start attack. Oh, they actually end up forfeiting. Okay, maybe they didn't have Recover then. Oh my gosh, that was certainly a game. I guess one thing that's actually interesting about that as well is even if the Dondozo, like, you eventually KO, like, it's kind of hard for my opponent to win that one because you'd have to keep clicking Recover, and, like, I would potentially win off Timer, right? And then Tatsugiri can just Draco Meteor if you actually knock out Dondozo. So, yeah. I could have played more optimally against Flamigo because that turn I didn't realize that the PP was actually stalled out, and so if, like, Close Combat actually, you know, they had enough PP there and Close Combat KOs me, that's bad. or KOs the substitute, because then they can clear Smog. So I should have kept cycling between sub and protect, because I just didn't even, I should have put 2 and 2 together and been like, wait, hold on, Flamingo's outspeeding us. What does that mean for me? And then also yeah, thinking about close combat PP, that is absolutely wild. But what a cool team for my opponents end there. I feel like we had a really substantial team advantage, but they played so well, and some interesting surprises from Scyther and low kicks, obviously. This is fun. We've got a triple ice team here with the Abomasnow, Glaceon, Frostmoth, with Sylveon, Hydreigon, and Meowscarada. So I'm always inclined, like, what's their Dondozo Tatsugiri answer here? I don't think it's super apparent to me, honestly. Volk, Golden Go are both excellent here. Baxcalibur can take advantage of their snow, which is kind of cool. I don't know if it's really that good, though. I think the main thing to worry about is Wide Guard from Frostmoth. But I'm kind of down for a Volk plus Golden Go lead here with Dondozo Giri in the back. We should probably Terra Dondozo, I think. Oh, actually, if we Terra Dondozo into Dragon, then their Ice type attacks do super effective damage. So the main thing I want to cover for is Wide Guard, I think, from Frostmoth. But the Volcarona is really nice into my opponent's team, in my opinion. Especially with Overheat. Frostmoth and Hydreigon, okay. Frostmoth, Hydreigon. Pretty easy to just Overheat. Curious if it's Focus Sashed. They could just Dark Pulse this. I could commit my Terra here defensively. Basically, like, I'm thinking Overheat here, Terra, and make it rain. Like, they'll probably go for Wide Guard here, but even if they do, if I can just KO Frostmoth with Overheat, then next turn I can make it rain. Because make it rain is so good into my opponent's team. So I just kind of want to lock myself into it. I think where things get tricky is if they're Focus Sash. But yeah, I don't know if, like, the Dragon Dondozo Terra is really that important for me in this matchup. They're going to go for a Terra. Interesting, but it's a slower Terra. And a Frostmoth? Oh. That is awesome. Oh, wow. Okay, that is going to be problematic for me. Wide Guard? No Wide Guard, okay. But it's Snarl Hydreigon. I mean, Golden Go's probably just getting dunked on here, right? That's really cool. I wasn't sure what Terra, like, they would commit to in this game, but Fire Frostmoth is very interesting. Struggle Bug would have been pretty sweet here then, but yeah. Very cool. Very cool. That was a crit and that did nothing. Ooh, okay, calm down. Very interesting. Quiver Dance. Quiver Dance Leftovers Fire Terra Frostmoth. I love it. So we have Struggle Bug here. It's a little bit risky switching in Dondozo here, in my opinion. Do you think there's value in conserving Golden Go? But this probably has Terra Blast into us. I don't know. I really don't want to just switch in Dondozo and let it eat up like a big Dark Pulse. Nah, I'm gonna make the switch. I think, like, Dondozo is just so much HP to work with that it's fine. I guess they could Draco that slot. I could have gone for Rage Powder to play this a little bit safer, but we'll see. Alright, they just Earth Power, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, it hurts, but... Bug Buzz. Ooh, never mind. Maybe that's not good news for me. But I get Struggle Bug off. Yeah, no, that was not good. That was... I took way too much damage there, right? Do I outspeed +1 Frostmoth? That's my other question right now. Because the thing is, I don't need Dondozo to like sweep through my opponent's team. I think the other pieces of the team are actually more important. Like what I want to do now is switch in Tatsugiri, get my boosts. I guess bringing in Tatsugiri and just protecting here this turn is fine, right? Get a little bit more leftovers recovery. Honestly, though, I kind of want to just wave crash here, but I don't know the speed tiers with Frostmoth. Like, Frostmoth might outspeed me thanks to that Quiver Dance. That Fire Terror is brilliant, though. It's really cool. Would never have anticipated that, although it's not, like, I guess, super crazy. Okay, so... Nom 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 nom. Yeah, I probably should have just sacrificed Golden Go. Okay, we are fast through, which is good. But I'm probably fainting from a Wave Crash recoil here, right? That was a crit, but I don't think that really mattered. So Frostmoth is down now. I think part of the problem for me is this Hydreigon outspeeding things. Oh, I actually survived from recoil. Okay, that's really good. Oh, and they Dark Pulsed into the other slot. Yeah, I mean, Dondozo Giri, if positioned correctly, is just so strong, but I was expecting to just, like, what I was worried about was Wave Crash, KOs them, and then they end up Dracoing into the slot and it gets redirected. That would have been a nightmare for me, but it's going to be a Abomasnow coming out, sets up the snow. Obviously, this thing can set up Aurora Veil. I think it's fine to just go for the knockout onto Hydreigon. If they had Snarl, I expect it to be Assault Vested. Hydreigon's down. Do they go for Aurora Veil? Yeah. I mean, it's kind of annoying, but like, what's Abomasnow with no Terror going to do into a Volcarona and Golden Goal? Not very much, so I kind of think it boils down to what their final Pokemon is. But even then, I don't feel that scared right now, honestly. It's not going to be Glaceon. Okay. The only thing I'm worried about is missing into Glaceon. We should always just... Should we always protect? We have Volcan Golden Goal in the back. Protect is fine for one turn of leftovers, plus stalling out a turn of Aurora Veil. But I think unless they get lucky with misses, we should win this. Like, I'd have to miss a bunch of overheats and make it rains. I have Freeze Dry. Okay. Good to confirm. Between these two, I prioritize knocking out the Glaceon. So let's just click Wave Crash into it. Nice, no miss. It's good. Just around half. Great. We don't faint from recoil. Man, I got so much value out of Dondozo in this game. Way more than expected. Oh, Blizzard doesn't even KO us. And they go for a double Blizzard. Interesting. If you get a Grass type attack, you could have gone Grass type attack and then Freeze Dry into Tatsugiri for a double knockout there. So I'm wondering if they just straight up don't have a Grass type attack. That would be interesting. I'm down to just bring out Golden Goal now. I think it's fine to lock in a Dragon Pulse here. Make it rain. Nice. And they detect Glaceon. I was worried about Abomasnow protect and then like I miss Glaceon. But Tatsugiri gets some nice chip. And now Make It Rain will finish off Abomasnow. Fire Frostmoth was really cool though. I feel like I got pretty lucky that Dondozo was able to just handle it. I wonder if they had Protect on Frostmoth, because if Frostmoth protected the turn I KO'd it, and then Hydreigon just like Draco'd into Dondozo, I feel like I would have lost this game. So, I don't know if I love how I've played these matches, but the team is so strong that even with it, you know, we've been able to win. And that's the mark of a good team, right? When it can carry a player. You often, I would say it's ideal when the team does the work more than the player. And even though I feel like I haven't been playing like super perfectly, the team is just so strong that we're able to dig ourselves out of slightly suboptimal situations. But yeah, like I can totally see how this is able to get to rank number 1, right? You have so much consistent damage. You have some really interesting surprises, whether it be the Meowscarada, the Volcarona set in general, like the trick on Golden Go, and then the Tatsugiri Dondozo combo is just so consistent. So yeah, we'll look for one final game here. Ooh, Staraptor. Haven't seen that in a while. Annihilate, Tyranitar, Houndstone, King Gambit, Amoonguss. I think the main thing to worry about here is like final Gambit strats. I think they can also burn me with Houndstone, which is pretty concerning. I don't like this matchup, honestly. I think Houndstone T-Tar looks really scary. Huh. What do I do? I'm very worried about Houndstone. We haven't really brought Meowscarada at all so far. This might be the matchup for it. The Amoonguss concerns me as well. Like, I don't know if I actually want Dondozo Giri in this one. Because Amoonguss could also clear Smog me. There's Will-O-Wisp pressure. I don't know, it's still so strong. I think I want to try a match where I don't bring it though and see how it plays out. Because I'm uncomfortable for a bunch of different reasons here. One, like Houndstone and Sand can just outspeed Dondozo, which is a pretty big problem for me. And a Will-O-Wisp is a nightmare on Dondozo because I can't increase my attack. Right? So then it's just kind of stuck on the field, not doing very much damage. Amoonguss with Rage Powder and Clear Smog is concerning. We're not Grass Terra or with Flying Terra with Terra Blast, so dealing with Amoonguss is actually a little bit harder in my opinion. Annihilate King Gambit. Okay. I'd say this is not a good lead for me in general. I could trick Choice Specs onto Golden Go. U-turn on from this. Like you could double up on Meowscarada right now. I'd kind of lean towards Protect and make it rain. But maybe they Sucker Punch just immediately into Golden Go. Does that KO me? Oh my gosh, it does. Ugh. Is it Life Orb? I didn't think that would KO without a Life Orb, but it's probably just a bad assumption. Oh, it is Life Orb. Okay, yeah. Final Gambit it into me too. Ugh, if I actually just went Terra turn 1, that would have been so much better for me. Final Gambit is really concerning to see there. This is a nightmare. Yeah, I can't break through this. I can bring out Volk. Hope they Final Gambit into the Volk slot. And then, for example, go for Knockoff here to get rid of the potential Choice Scarf. Protect here. I didn't feel great about committing my Terra turn 1 with Golden Go, but I probably should have, because what else am I going to Terra in this game? Golden Go is one of the best means of offense, so yeah, I should have just gone for it. Life Orb is such a common item on King Gambit anyway. I don't even know if we survived non-Life Orb Sucker Punch. Maybe that was a bold assumption as well. Okay, this is a good turn. It's a very good turn. Okay, they end up Gambiting into Meowscarada, which is fine since we have Sash. Like, I'll totally take that trade. Now I'm in Overgrow range as well. I do have to worry about just a potential Sucker Punch. I mean, like, Tyranitar now is looking so scary, right? But if Tyranitar comes out, what can I do? Just Overheat? The problem is Tyranitar Houndstone endgame here is a nightmare for me. What's coming out? It is Tyranitar. Oh, but you know, I could just Rage Powder the Sucker Punch away and then just go for Overgrow, Flower Trick into Tyranitar. Honestly, their best bet is to switch this out. I feel like I need to make a read right now. What do I think they have in the back? I would expect Houndstone. They haven't Terra either. Okay, I'm going for Rage Powder Flower Trick. Oh, they stay in, though. That's huge. And they did in Terra? Wait, this is exactly what I might be looking for. Nice. Unless you're Focus Sash T-Tar. Okay. Oh, that is exactly what I was looking for. Okay, so that's huge. But now it comes down to what their last Pokemon is. I kind of expect Houndstone. I have Steel Terra with the Baxcalibur with Glaive Rush. Okay. Yeah, it is Houndstone. I mean, I think the best play here is Steel Terra, Glaive Rush into Houndstone and protect this turn. I'm just worried about Last Respects one-shotting Baxcalibur, but Baxcalibur is fairly bulky here. I don't love seeing the Terra here either. Okay, what is it going to be? Ghost Terra is fine, but I think this turn I essentially needed to figure out who Houndstone's targeting. Like, in my head, you're scared of Volcarona, right? Because otherwise Volk can just KO you. I just don't know if Baxcalibur can survive the Ghost Terra at Last Respects right now. Yeah, I just don't know my Last Respects damage calcs at all. I made this play thinking we would survive. Okay, that's a good protect to see already. I'm happy about that. Although... Okay, beautiful. That should win us the game. Nice. Ooh, had to make some plays to get out of this, but now Glaive Rush I would expect a KO. Okay, they survive on one. Focus Sash, makes sense. But now I can Ice Shard you. My only fear is if, like, Sucker Punch one-shots Volk. But having Ice Shard here is huge. Excellent. I wonder if Houndstone could have one-shot Baxcalibur. I just don't really know that damage calc. Oh, no. But they cleave into Bax. Okay, I think it's still fine. It's kind of scary, though. Because they could go for Sucker Punch now. I don't think Sucker Punch KOs. Glaive Rush into Overkey here. They actually forfeited. I don't think they should have forfeited there. Like, they totally had a win condition. Sucker Punch KO, crit KO Volcarona. Glaive Rush doesn't KO them. I would protect the next turn, and then it's a question of whether or not, like, I think another Sucker Punch would KO me. I don't expect Volcarona, I guess, to faint from the Sucker Punch unless they get a critical hit. That was the other thing I was wondering about. But yeah, I actually think my opponent could have played that out for at least one more turn. At least try to Sucker Punch Volk there. So, yeah. I think that gets us to Master Ball tier. Cool. Not bad. So, yeah, like, in Sword and Shield, you would start in, like, the beginning of Rank 9. And in Scarlet and Violet, it seems like we started, like, towards the end. And so it took just 4 wins to get there. But, yeah. I hope you can see how this was the best team from the previous rank season, or at least the rank #1 team from the last rank season. It's absolutely amazing. And yeah, we got to showcase a bunch of different components. Sadly, didn't get to use the Toxic Spikes tech, which I think is really cool in Meowscarada. But otherwise, the team just performed absolutely incredibly. And it's so much about how you can utilize Dondozo and Tatsugiri in a lot of matchups. But I'm glad to feature that last game where we just straight up did not bring it and still ended up winning. So you don't always need it. And often you have to consider, you know, is it actually optimal for me to bring it? But yeah. Thank you, as always, for watching. Thank you to Naoto for the team, and I'll see you all next time. All right, peace.